Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome back to the US Chess Championship in 2022. So we're now already in the round 8 of this prestigious chess event and we're following now the rising star of this event. We're following now Ray Robson's game with the black pieces against Elshan Moradiabadi. And yesterday Ray Robson pulled off maybe even the game of the tournament. He played such a brutal, beautiful attack against Wesley So, won the game eventually and is now on the second place behind Fabiano Caruana, who is also playing really great chess in this event. And maybe if Ray Robson continues to play like this, he has, I think, also realistic chances maybe to win the whole thing, to win the US Chess Championship in 2022. But in order that to happen, he has now to win some games. Again, he's now playing against the lowest rated player in the event, and you have to win these games when you are the favorite, when you are, of course, much higher rated. So it was now a must-win situation for Ray Robson. Let's see now what happened. It was, in my opinion, beautiful again gameplay by both sides. So let's see now the game. Elshan Moradiabadi opened with the move e4. We have e5 by Ray. We have knight to f3, knight to c6, and after bishop to b5, we have now the Spanish game. The Ruy Lopez is on the board. So we have knight to f6, the beautiful Berlin defense. We have d3, fixing everything in the center, protecting the pawn on e4. And now when white is not further challenging the center with d4 and similar stuff, bishop to c5 is perfectly fine. We're breaking and opening the position in the center. So we have here, we have bishop to c6 by Elshan Moradiabadi. This is one of the natural ideas. So we're messing up a little bit the pawn structure of black with the move d takes c6. Now, of course, you should not take the pawn on e5. This is a dirty trap that you shouldn't be really familiar with, because if you play this one and you get queen to d4, your knight is hanging, and also the pawn on f2. So here in the continuation, knight from b to d2 was played by Elshan Moradiabadi. We have now knight to d7, protecting now finally the pawn on e5. We have knight to c4, and now after move f6, everything is pretty much compact here in the center. Everything is so far glued together in black's position. So in the continuation, we have bishop to e3, and here Elshan Moradiabadi doesn't want to tolerate the main strength of blacks in the continuation, which is of course the bishop pair. In the Berlin defense in this line, white gave up the bishop for a knight, okay, created a structural weakness here, this double pawn structure on the c file, but as a compensation, black has this beautiful bishop pair. So far here Ray Robson got challenged with this move bishop to e3. So in the continuation, we have bishop takes e3, we have knight takes e3, and in the beginning it seems so that this is not a complicated game to play for both sides. This is really solid game. This is sort of a drawish line. The many pieces are already traded off. Many opportunities are not there for both sides, so this should be really a struggle, really great battle. But Ray Robson has, I think, a beautiful talent to spice up things when you have this kind of a position. That's, I think, really refreshment in the chess community when we get out of this positional struggles, out of this positional battles. Really a beautiful tactical game. That's what I really love. I loved really by the top grandmaster Vladimir Kramnik. In my opinion, Vladimir Kramnik was a beautiful, aggressive player who always came up with new ideas in the middle game stage. Now after move knight to e3, the idea is clear. From white's perspective, we want to at least continue here to maybe occupy our opponent's side of the board. We want to play knight to f5. On the other hand, black is trying to occupy also these weaknesses. Maybe we want to get with our knight maybe on d4, or maybe here also to f4. So outposts are the basic strategic ideas, I think, for both sides. So in the continuation, we have now knight to c5 by Ray Robson. We have kingside castling, and see now comes this idea, knight to e6, and now we're trying knight to f4, knight to d4. So far here Elshan Moradiabadi prevented this idea with the move c3. He's not allowing knight to d4, but still this square on f4 is weak. So in order to maybe prevent this, you have to in the near future maybe even play some ideas of g3. But the problem is when you play g3, then you're also opening up a little bit here the light square diagonal for the light square bishop. So this should be also quite dangerous. So it's really sort of a build up here for both sides. So in the continuation, now now c5. So here Ray Robson is not allowing maybe some d4 ideas by white. This is very important prophylactic move by Ray, really nice positional move. In the continuation we have now queen to c2 and now b6. So here Ray Robson is searching for opportunities to get the bishop into the game and activate now every minor piece. So we have rook from f to d1. Okay, you have played this prophylactic idea, you have played also the move d3. This is a structural weakness so far because it's kind of a backward pawn here in white's position, but the rook to d1 is of course pretty fine because in the near future we can play aggressively and maybe open the center with the move d4. So queen to d7 by Ray Robson. We have now a4, bishop to a6, continuing the pressure here around the square d3. We have now b4, and here after move rook to d8 you see Ray Robson continued the pressure around this weakness around the square d3, forced basically here Elshan Moradiabadi to play the move b5, but now after move bishop to b7 and queen to b3, so the knight is a little bit endangered here. If you kingside castle, then of course there are maybe some tactical ideas on this diagonal, so that's why queen to b3 so far a good move here by white. But now after queen to f7 now comes the first critical moment of the game, which is really wild how chess can be cruel. In my opinion, still this is not okay, it has some tactical possibilities, but in my opinion it's really not such a complicated game. It's not so dynamic, it's not so tactical, and it becomes actually tactical with one particular move. Now Elshan Moradiabadi plays the move g3, and as we said, you are kind of weakening your pawn structure in front of the king. Okay, you are playing on this restriction ideas to not allow this knight to get on f4, but in my opinion this g3 you can play maybe a couple of moves afterwards, because here Elshan Moradiabadi should have continued with his main plan. He has a certain expansion here on the queen side, and now he should have played simply a5. This was the way to go. Maybe after b takes a5, look at this, then rook to a5, then rook to a7 can be happen. So in the near future this rook will come on a7. Probably black will not take this pawn, so it's, I think, a suicide then splitting up the pawn chain like this. If you play something like this, look at this, how weak the pawn structure would be. So this is not an option, but a5 would be really great, because after a takes b6, this rook will come into the game on a7, will eventually occupy the 7th rank, and in my opinion this should be really solid game for white. Then eventually when this bishop is a little bit endangered, then I think we have time to play the move g3 whenever it's necessary, but so far a5 was a must move here for Elshan Moradiabadi, and unfortunately he didn't play this move, and from this point on he got into really great positional problems, because after move g3 now here Ray Robson played the perfect move. He realized you had your chance to play your a5 move. Now I will occupy the square, and here the only chance of course to create some kind of a dynamic game on the queen side is actually to take, but probably here you have to even leave the position like this. Maybe it was even better to not touch anything, because here after move b takes a6 and bishop to a6, actually you're the one that you're left now here from white's perspective with the weakness. Now the a4 is weak, and still in my opinion the d3 pawn is weak. So in my opinion from this point on Ray Robson is really taking over. So we have now a5 by Elshan Moradiabadi, but here b5. Here Ray Robson is saying, I'm not trading off more pieces. I don't trade off more pawns, because now I have really a dynamic pawn structure here. I will create some kind of a madness here on the queen side with b4, maybe with c4, whatever you want to play, but it is a certain flexibility here. We can also push this third pawn afterwards, so it's sort of a 3 versus maybe 2 pawn situation. Here we have sort of a pawn majority possibility attack by black against these two centralized pawns of white. So it was really great how Ray Robson understood really the beauty of this position. So we have here knight to f5. Okay, you have your outpost, but we have to say in the near future this knight can be kicked away with the move g6. So far it's maybe not so good, because you get some ideas of knight to h6, but when we castle, maybe secure the king, maybe improve a little bit the position, then this knight still can be kicked away. So in the continuation, kingside castling, and now queen to c2 was played by Elshan Moradiabadi. Again, a new mistake in the game. sometimes we don't understand our chances in the game. Here I think white has to already battle for a draw, has to really struggle for a draw. A line that could have helped out Moradiabadi here was actually to play the move d4, because now after c takes d4, c takes d4, we have e takes d4, knight to d4, and after a couple of trades of pieces here, you can even simplify the game, trading off the queens, going into a knight versus maybe bishop's endgame, but still you have opportunities to include the rook into the game. You can play f3, fix here maybe the position. So for instance, the Stockfish engine likes this particular line and guesses this position as a drawish line. So this was the only way maybe for Elshan Moradiabadi to make at least some kind of a draw here in this position. But here he played queen to c2, and now again Ray Robson realized that, okay, you had your chance maybe to simplify the game by trading off the queens, and now he got out of the potential range of the queen with queen to b3. Now Moradiabadi played the move d4, but it was a little bit too slow, because now the queen can come into the game. You had your chance, as I said, you could have traded off the queens. Now look at this, the queen of black becomes now the best piece on the board, creates now really tactical damage. This knight is weak, this knight can be kicked away, as I said, with g6. From this point on, the game is a one-way ticket. So in the continuation we have now d5, and okay, many of us would play maybe something like knight to g5, but now comes a beautiful, stunning tactical move by Ray Robson. Ray pulled off knight to f4, and this is really wild. The problem is actually you could have played here a bad move. For instance, many of us I think would even play the move queen to f3, but look at this, after d takes e6, maybe rook to d1, rook takes d1, you play something like g6. Look at this pawn would be very annoying to handle. You have to play something like rook to e8, and now rook to d8 is even winning the game here from white's perspective. So this is quite annoying. Many of us I think would fall for this, but not Ray Robson. Of course, after move d5 he played the correct move, knight to f4, and now the game becomes really wild. So we have here knight to h4. So here Elshan Moradiabadi tried to protect this knight on f3 with his other knight. Even if you play now g takes f4, in my opinion, still this is a much better position for black. We take out the knight, you can maybe take out here the pawn, but now we create a check, you get out of the range, and now with g6 we're kicking with the knight to g3, and after something like f takes e5, we're opening up the f file. In the near future this bishop will be included into the game, so I would not love to play really this game from white's perspective, especially because of this light core weaknesses in front of the king. So much better position again for black. So here, as we said, you could have maybe played something else, but here Moradiabadi played knight to h4. So now Ray Robson simply played g5, continues the pressure against both of these knights on the king side. We have g takes f4. Okay, you took your knight, but now black is also taking this other knight. We have now reached this wild position in which again black is much better. The knight is loose, the bishop will be included into the game, the g file is opened, the king is endangered, the e file will be opened also with this other rook. So here is the tension in the center. E takes f4 will happen, so we will trade off some pawns in the center, and then the e file is open. So it's a devastating, it's a bad game here for white for sure. So in the continuation we have queen to e2. So Moradiabadi realizes his tactical problems. What he's trying to do here is at least trade off the queens and simplify the game as much as you can. So e takes f4, good move by Ray Robson, opening up the e file. As I said, we have king to f1. Look at this, what happens if you play king to h1. If you try maybe to secure the king further here towards the corner, actually it's not so good, because you get this one, b4, deflecting the queen from the defense of the knight on f3. Now you could maybe lock the position with the move c4, but bishop to c4, queen to c4. Now we take out the knight on f3. You have to play king to g1. Now the rook is coming into the game. Look at this, we're just including more pieces into the game. This other rook is coming into the game, so it's a position that I think you can resign immediately. So in the continuation, that's why king to f1. So here Moradiabadi is trying maybe to escape with the king, create sort of a path, hide maybe behind his pawns, but it's really bad game, as we said in the beginning. So after king to f1, we have rook to g8. Good move by Ray, including now the rook into the game. We have now c4. This was again also weird move, because actually you're helping out this bishop to come into the game. Maybe king to e1 was slightly better, but still you see bishop to c8 is going to happen. Look at this bishop is coming to the game. You cannot protect the knight anymore, so again a messed up position. But okay, after move c4, what Moradiabadi hoped for, that he could create maybe a blockade with rook to a3, rook to c3, not allow maybe this pawn to get advanced, and also of course then to liberate the long diagonal for the light square bishop. But after rook to a3, here we have rook to b8, we have rook to c3, creating this blockade. But now after queen to g4, this is now a messed up game. There is no good defense against king to g2. We have now king to e1, we have rook to e8. As I said, everything is under fire here. The e file is messed up, the b file is messed up, this bishop is dangerous, so it's a one-way ticket here for black. So in the continuation, knight to d2, again the same defensive idea here by Moradiabadi. He's trying to simplify the game by trading off the queens, but of course here Ray Robson is staying active with his pieces. When you are on the attacking side, there's no way that you should trade off your best pieces, so that's why playing actively is now crucial here for black. Knight to queen to f1, here we have queen to g7, beautiful move by Ray. We're trying f5 and then to sneak in with the queen here also on a beautiful square d4. So we have rook from d to c1. We have now this idea f5. Look at this, the king is lined up here with the rook on the e file. f3 here, white is trying to keep the position in the center compact. But now after move queen to d4, we have queen to f2, and now again a beautiful move by Ray Robson. He plays rook to g8. He's saying, okay, you can now trade off the queens, but it's a different story if we trade off now the queens, because if you play, for instance, queen to d4, this wasn't played in the game, but look at this, then actually you are connecting these two pawns, the pawns are rolling, the rook is hanging, and now you have to even sacrifice the exchange here. You have to play rook to c4, bishop to c4, knight to c4, but now we can also take out this one. White needs now to take out this one on e4, but now the rook is coming into the game. We'll take out also this pawn. This other rook is coming into the game with rook to g8, rook to g1. There are even some checkmate threats, so it's game over here for white for sure. So in the continuation, after move queen to f2 and rook to g8, in the continuation Moradiabadi played queen to h4, but now after move rook to b2, in this position Moradiabadi resigned. So let's see possible continuations. If you try maybe to protect this one here with this, there is always the threat of a rook to g1, queen to e3 are opportunities, so there's simply no good defense. The knight is hanging, queen to e3 can happen, rook to g1, if you move this pawn, rook to c3 is possible. So every move is simply devastating in white's position. So from this point on you cannot defend anymore, and it's even a forced checkmate whatever you play. The Stockfish engine, as Holmes says here, it's a forced checkmate in 15 moves. But okay, really wild game. Ray Robson won now his game. We'll wait also of the result how Fabiano Caruana played today. He had, I think, also good position in his game. Ray Robson is now combined the leader with Fabiano Caruana, but of course Fabiano's game is very important also for the continuation of the tournament. But it's a great performance by Ray. As I said in the beginning, he didn't lose any game so far. He has now great chances to win the whole thing. He gained many rating points. He's now part of the 2700 rating club. A great tournament for him for sure. I think he feels very, very fine in this super event in this US Chess Championship in 2022. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed Ray's games because he's incredible. Almost he played like a Stockfish 15 engine. I liked how he realized twice when Moradiabadi missed his chances, when he could have maybe traded off the queens, then got out of the range with the king. When he played here this blockade idea with the move a5, created some structural damage, included the bishop into the game. Really beautiful position ideas, and that's why I wish him all of the best, of course, in the continuation of the tournament. Okay, see you soon with some more videos. If you want to see some other games that we have analyzed, please also check out our coverage. Here are some links of some games that we have analyzed before, and if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what to say, chess is the best, of course.